Welcome back, everyone. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. with a look at Axios AM. Editor-in-Chief for Axios, Nicholas Johnson. Nicholas, great to have you with us. But before we even get to the one big thing, we got to congratulate you guys over at Axios for being named the best digital news startup at the 2018 North American Digital Media Awards. I think
Thank you.
We'd like to feel that we had a part in that.
We did. We couldn't do it without you guys getting the word out. Thanks.
So tell us, what is the one big thing for this morning over at Axios?
That's right. The one big thing today is President Trump tightening his hold over all of government. We already knew he was a one-man West Wing, didn't listen to his aides, couldn't be reined in, and didn't take advice from outside experts very often. Remember, Republicans control both the House and the Senate. They have not been a check on his power. And now with Justice Kennedy's retirement, Trump has an opportunity to reshape the court, removing one more check on his power in the judicial branch. We talked to one Republican who likened Trump's power now to what President George W. Bush had shortly after 9/11, if you remember that, when all the government was united behind him. One Republican told us that the reason they're able to pull this off is that he successfully united economic conservatives, national security conservatives, and social conservatives into a very powerful bloc. One caveat on all of that, you have to remember, among all voters, Trump still has a majority negative approval rating, so it's something to consider ahead of the midterms, absolutely.
So, Nick, take us inside Trump's thinking here as he and the administration are compiling a short list for Supreme Court nominees.
Right. The Supreme Court wasn't really something Donald Trump thought about a lot, but he knew his supporters were super interested in some of the social issues it considered. And so remember, during the campaign, he announced his short list for Supreme Court justices to fill the Scalia vacancy. He thought that was a political masterstroke that got all of his conservative backers very riled up. He added to that again in November. One thing we have on Axios this morning is a chart listing how conservative that list is, far more conservative than Justice Kennedy, who is replacing. Trump is very much going to his conservative allies like Ralph Reed, like the Federalist Society, which vets a lot of these conservative judges at the lower positions, and he's building a list based off that. One other thing to note, different also from the politics, is the ages. Trump is very interested in appointing a young justice, someone who could serve on the court for 30, maybe even 40 years. All the ones at the top of the list are in their late 40s or early 50s.
So I got to ask you about the court's composition for a moment, because I know that Axios has reported that Trump doesn't think that this will actually be his last SCOTUS pick in his first time. Does this put a lot of pressure as well on somebody like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who's now 85 years old, to at least stick around through a potential 2020 presidential run?
That's exactly right. Trump tells his friends that he thinks he might get 4 justices on the Supreme Court. So after this next one, he'll only be halfway there. And remember, just like you said, the next 2 oldest justices, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, over 80, Stephen Breyer, who is 79. If Donald Trump has a second term, he certainly would have an opportunity possibly to replace both of them.
What's the long game here for the Democrats? Because things aren't necessarily looking good for them at this moment.
That's a great question. I think it's a lot to fire up the base, try and delay the possible vote as much as possible. Mitch McConnell says he wants it to happen before the court comes in October. Can you pressure Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, pro-choice Republican senators to possibly vote against a hardline conservative justice? And can you fire up the base and try and win seats in the Senate and push this off to give Democrats more power?
Is this going to be an issue, you think, come the midterms, if in fact there isn't a judicial nominee in place, and whether or not the nominee, as it stands now, Mitch McConnell changing that number to 54 to get the last justice approved?
That's right. No, this will be a transcendent issue in the midterms. Like, the best tweets about this when stepping down yesterday was that this is seismic. There's nothing bigger than a Supreme Court justice nomination. I think nothing bigger, particularly in this political climate. Look, this will be a huge issue. If it's not done by the midterms, it'll factor in. If it is done, it'll be a huge motivating factor to get people to the polls.
What do you predict here? Do you see this getting done by the midterms?
Ooh, I try.
Look at crystal ball.
But Mitch McConnell seems
you
to
guys
have
just won
the
an
votes.
award. You should have a good prediction on this one.
Mitch McConnell seems to have the votes, so I think they might be able to get this done before the court starts up in October.
All right, Nicholas Johnson, live in D.C. Thank you very much. Of course, we're going to be reading Axios AM in just a bit. And to all of our viewers out there, don't forget, you too can sign up for the newsletter by going to signup.axios.com.
All right, that does it for.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.